Welcome everyone, and we have the final match today. It's Anaya's Zodiac, Pure Zodiac 60 card deck versus Anderson San's 60 card Infernoid deck. And this is the final of YCS Denver. Anderson gets to start first, normal summons Whiptail, goes into Boar Bow, overlays that into Broad Bow, detaches, gets a Rapier from his deck, and overlays into Tiger, then into Trident, and activates the newly errata Future Fusion. So he passes the turn, and the Zodiac player sets 3 and passes. And the effect of Future Fusion resolves, and the Zodiac player tries to change Dimensional Barrier, but he doesn't know that newly errata Future Fusion doesn't actually summon in the first standby phase. So Anderson is able to stand 13 Infernoids into the grave. At this point, Anderson's got a huge lead. He's able to also remove 3 to summon Ononku, and normal summons the Spheroid Terratop into Take and overlays both of them into Invoker. That will allow him to special summon level 4, which I believe in this case... Oh, it's going to get Solemn Strike, so that negates it. But still, Anderson's in a great position. He's probably going to overlay into the Broad Bow just to get more searches, and gets a Thrower Blade from the deck. He then overlays the Broad Bow back into the Trident, and at this point Anaya only has 2300, and he just scoops because he knows he's far too behind after the Future Fusion has resolved. And that was a quick game 1. So after players have sided their decks, we begin game 2, and the Zodiac Beast player will open first. So he summons the Trick Clown. He plays the Brilliant Engine in his 60 deck variant, so he's able to use Barrage, destroy the Trick Clown while bringing it back, overlays into the Boar Bow, gets a Rapier summoned from its effect, and goes into Broad Bow, gets a search for the Luna Knight. So he's going for the, I believe, +5 draw combo with the 2 copies of Fusion substitution. So yeah, he gets Northern from that, overlays with the Trick Clown, goes into Daigusto, detaches, gets 3 cards sent back, and draws a card from his deck. So even after the ban list hit, the Zodiac is still very powerful and can easily draw between 3 to 5. So as we can see here, he's just going to keep looping, get the Northern back into the extra deck with the Fusion Substitution effect, and activates another one that was searched by the Luna Knight, and brings back Northern, brings back Trick Clown, overlays into another Emerald, shuffles 3 monsters back into the deck, and draw another one. And he still has the Fusion Substitute in the grave to send Northern back. Oh, he uses the Trident overlay first and gets Rapier, so this way he doesn't have to draw into Rapier, and he sends the Northern back to draw 1 more card. So at this point he has already drawn, I think, 5 cards, and he sets 3 and passes, so it's a pretty strong opening. And one of the set cards is Zodiac Barrage, so he can attach a card from the deck to the Trident, so even though it has no materials right now, it's still pretty good. But Anderson picks up the Twin Twister from the Pot of Desires and actually hits the opponent's Twin Twister and the combo, which is not too bad. But he can go into Decantron, get the Daviati into the grave to counter Trident's play, then goes for Void Imagination. Zodiac player makes a mistake, chains the Forbidden Chalice, trying to negate Decatron's effect, and activates Retaliating Sea in a response to the Void Imagination, but the judges said he cannot do that. So Void Imagination goes through, and Tiara comes out once again, sending 7 Infernoid monsters into the grave. And Tiara's extra effect triggers while milling 3 off the top of each player's deck and sending 3 cards from the extra deck to the grave. So Anderson swings to get rid of the Trident and uses enemy controller to take control of the enemy Rapier. He then goes into an Infernoid and overlays his Rapier into, I believe, the Broad Bow to get a search off and a summon of his own Rapier. And with this, he grabs the Whiptail from the deck to the hand and overlays into Trident with the Broad Bow, and special summons another copy from his deck, the last copy of his Rapier, and overlays both of them into Kagasuchi, which mills 5, and he gets the Snow from his deck. Tries to use Omega, but that gets answered by DD Crow. But he responds with a Infernoid removal to get rid of the Zodiac combo in the opponent's grave and pops the barrage with the Trident and sets 1. So back to the Zoo player, he tries to use the effect of Emerald, but that's gonna get answered by the Infernoid, so that removes one of the target and he's unable to draw. So the Trident is gone. The Trickon comes back though because it was detached as a material, and Terratop gets summoned into Take, into Invoker, but the Whiptail from Anderson's hand chains and destroys the summoned Invoker. The Emerald takes care of the Trident, but he can't do much. Sets 1, passes. Anderson summons Deviati from the grave by removing 3 Infernoids, and that blows the Solemn Strike, and uses Lullaby to grab a card from the Zoo deck's player's hand. He chains the Retaliating Sea to set up some more defense so it can live. Anderson uses the Thoroughblade grab at the Lullaby to overlay into the Trident and swing with the Deviati, and swings again to do piercing damage on the Trickon, which had 0 defense, and uses Kakasuchi to get rid of the Retaliating Sea. And in the battle phase uses Snow, try to do an extra 1850, and he uses the Trident's effect to pop his own Snow to banish 7 cards again and swings for the game. Although the Zoo player has some misplays and letting the Future Fusion and Void Imagination result was definitely a mistake, but props to both of them for playing it through and placing first and second at the YCS Denver.